If you're enjoying Pigoted Podcast, then why not sign up to our Patreon? You can find it at patreon.com/pigoted, and on there you get loads of extra benefits, such as early access to episodes. You get access to Pigoted Extra, which is extra content from our guests, usually about 45 minutes to an hour long of extra content every single week. You get merchandise, you get to ask questions, you get to be part of our Discord community. We have a Discord server where people chat and ask questions and discuss topics that have been brought up on the podcast. You get all that through Patreon, and it starts from just £3 a month. Plus, you'll be supporting the podcast. You'll be helping the podcast to grow, helping us to fund bigger and better guests and to pay for all the editing and that kind of thing. So please, if you are enjoying Pigoted, then think about signing up and becoming a Patreon from just £3 a month over at patreon.com/pigoted. Welcome to Pigoted Podcast. Joining us today is comedian Rob Thomas.
Hello. Hello.
And as an expert, I'm just basking in the fact that you did that with your...
I did it to you, and I meant to do it to people. That's just, it's me taxi driver, hello, isn't it? You know,
it is.
You know when I go past another cabbie, just a little nod and a little...
Why do they do that? Is that like a... Oh, yeah, it's tough.
Comrade thing, you know?
Tough out on the roads, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. It's like people who've been through hard times.
Oh, mate, are you just circling around the housing estate instead of picking people up on time as well? Yeah, same here.
That's exactly what it is.
You know when they say we're just like 2 minutes away?
Yeah.
It's fucking bollocks, isn't
it? Mostly, yeah. It's mostly just like what the reality of the situation is. We were 2 minutes away at one point, and then someone flagged us down, and it was like, do we want to do another fair and be quick greedy? So that's normally what it is. It's like, yeah, I was 2 minutes away, but now I'm probably 10 minutes away. I was hoping this fair was going in your direction, but it's not. But I wanted to risk it for an extra £4, so
fucking
so
money
that's why I'm
grabbing
late. Yeah, basically.
And joining us as the expert is Ben. Hi, Ben.
Hello.
Remind us what you are again.
I am an astrophysicist.
And what is it we are going to be talking about today, Ben?
We're going to be talking about, and best History Channel voice here, aliens.
I'll be honest, when Freddy said we're going to be speaking to an astrophysicist about aliens, you are exactly who I pictured. So
Splendid.
I did not disappoint.
Really?
Yeah. Well,
Bit racist.
is it?
No.
It's not.
No, it's not at all.
Might be offensive, but it's not racist.
What do you picture an astrophysicist to look like?
Just someone who spends a lot of time in dark rooms.
Really?
Alone.
Why?
Well,
why?
Because I just don't understand people's interest in space, and they're never going to go there. It's like when you go to someone's house, like someone's working class house, and they really love like the Caribbean culture. It's like you've never been to the Caribbean. Like, what's going on? You know, they've got like tapas dishes on the wall, and you're like, you've not been to Spain, love. Like, you've been to Benidorm, and you think you like the Spanish culture.
Do you know what? That's such a great reference, because I remember one of my mates' mums was obsessed with Holland.
Yeah.
And she had like little clogs and stuff like that, and she had like tulips and things and pictures of Holland, and it was weird going into this fucking house that was like kind of Dutch, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the weirdest bit was she'd never been to Holland.
Like, how do you know you love Holland? Like, just
also as well, it's like it's 30 quid. Do you know what I mean? Like,
my nan is obsessed with dolphins, and I don't think she's ever seen one. And I literally say to her, they're in the Mersey now. Just get on the ferry, just go and see them. And it's just I think she's scared. You'll never meet your heroes, sort of thing. I think she's scared she'll see one in real life and go, well, all that money was a waste of time on it.
Or she'll think that the dolphin was a right dick to her.
He's a bit of a knobhead.
Yeah, I didn't shake my fin properly, so fuck this shit.
Yeah, he never swam with me. What's your 22 stone, love? That's probably why.
Are you not, like, fascinated by space, then?
No.
Why?
Because it's miles away.
Yeah, but...
Same way I'm not fascinated by Glasgow.
But isn't that the...
If I went to Glasgow, I'd enjoy it.
No, but isn't that the reason that you are fascinated by it is because it's so far away, and so it's almost you can see it, but it's never within touching distance, like your toes.
I was going to say that sounds like my 32-inch waist. yeah. I can see myself having one again every time I look in the mirror. Whether I get one. No, I just think it's time. You're just a time wasting tit, aren't you? It's like there's loads of things in life you could enjoy and experience. Why you're obsessing over something you never will?
I don't know. Right. So I'm not massively into space in terms of like, I don't like
Ben's
look up at
we're
this,
just destroying his
Ben's
whole
like,
livelihood here.
I am a time-wasting tit who's culturally appropriating space.
Yeah,
is what I'm
that's-
learning
Well,
right here.
you don't know if you are culturally appropriating space. This is what we're here for. You could be.
Well, this is. Do you know what? It's funny actually because we've had Ben on with Dean Coughlin. We talked about black holes. We had Ben on with a flat earther who categorically rejects everything that Ben is about in terms of his knowledge and expertise. And it's taken you less than 5 minutes to be more offensive than both of those things.
Yep.
Well, this is what you got me on for, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's it. A bit of
Exactly what I
controversy,
mean.
stirring the pot a little bit.
You asked me my opinion. Like, I'm not going to lie to you.
Well, that is true. I don't know, though. Right, okay.
You asked
Well,
Ben's opinion on a fat person. I'm not going to get offended.
Ben, what's your opinion on fat people?
They're easier to model in a physical sense.
They're easier to model. What do you mean?
Oh, physics gets a lot easier if you just consider spherical masses.
So, if anything, I've made your life easier.
Yeah, no.
What
yeah,
a
no,
fucking
brilliant.
slam. Physics
brilliant.
gets a lot easier if you just consider spherical masses.
That's brilliant.
Oh, mate.
I'm not offended by that. If anything, it's a compliment.
No, I think it's worse. I'd rather someone go, you fat cunt, than somebody explain it in an intellectual sense.
Oh, no, because I just ignored the bit where I was fat and was like, so basically, I'm like your dream. like I'm astrophysicist's dream. So I'm like, yeah, fair enough.
Do you believe in aliens, Rob?
I think it's impossible for them not to exist.
Oh, same. I said this.
Like the arrogance it takes to go, we're the only people in the whole of existence, and like if space is really infinite and it just keeps going and going and going, and there's more planets that we've never ever we will never see, and we couldn't even comprehend. Then how do we? There could just be another planet with loads of all us but green because the sun's a different colour.
This is so similar to what I said. So
I'm going to rethink my opinion now.
So I said that it's not only do I believe that aliens exist, I think that it's almost a certainty. Because again, if you live in an infinite universe, you have you have infinite possibilities, and so therefore it has to be the case that life exists on one of them. But also as well, if the universe is infinite, surely there's a world that's just like the one we're in now, but you're wearing a green t-shirt instead of a black one.
Yeah, see, I don't believe in all that in that sort of level of like, oh, it's just the same. But I think there could be just people that are like us, but maybe with 3 arms and 3 legs because they've evolved.
Yeah,
that it suits them.
But
better.
then it also could be that
they might be green because their sun gives off a different radiation. Than ours.
But it could be that they're just like us, but like yours is thin. And then everything else is the same.
So mine kept his hair when he was 23.
Yeah.
Basically, didn't give up on life. Oh, I wish I was him.
Never packed the football in. Kept his head down.
Kept a fringe and went, fuck, I'm going to stay. No, life's good. Life's good.
But sure there's infinite, like there's infinite possibilities of just little variations within this room.
Yeah, possibly, but... Yeah, I don't know.
So not only is
but the problem with thinking like that, and I'm no expert, is if there's infinite possibilities, then surely the more likelihood is that lots of little increments have happened that have led to bigger changes than just us being like a thin.
What do you mean?
Then just like I say, we've evolved to only need one eye. Things like that.
So there's a world
rather than they're just like us, except you're now thin. I just think, well, the likelihood is if it's infinite possibilities, just a little bit of change for 1,000 years is going to lead to a massive change.
Yeah, but I mean, what I mean is there's just as much. I feel
like
chance.
what you're saying is like the 1,000 monkeys are the 1,000 hours they'd eventually write Shakespeare. It's like, yeah, would they though? Like, would they? Because they wouldn't know, would they?
It's an infinite number of monkeys and an infinite number of typewriters. Not 1,000 monkeys and 1,000 hours. That's 1,000 hours.
So
like a week? No, it's like a month, isn't it? It's 1,000 monkeys and a month.
An infinite level of monkeys with an infinite level of typewriters going to write Shakespeare.
There is a website doing this.
What?
It's not like monkeys, but it's just generating random strings of letters and then cross-referencing that with the works of Shakespeare.
Really?
Right.
What's it called? Do you know?
I cannot remember off the top of my head. But
that is somebody desperate to prove that quote right. That is somebody desperate to feed that theory right, where it's like, you said cross-referencing words, so they're not cross-referencing the whole plays, they're like, oh, we've got a word here. It's like, you're going to get a word. Get me Hamlet.
No, they're looking for the longest matching string. of characters. So what you get is like something from like Hamlet Act 3 Scene 2 that starts in the middle of a word and runs for like 7 letters.
Yeah.
Like that's the bit they've managed to replicate. And they're just keeping going. It'll probably take them like until the sun burns out to actually spit out the rest of Hamlet.
What's the point?
The point of it is to sort of illustrate just what infinity is. Because we're so bad at, I think as human beings, we have no concept or grasp on what what infinity truly means.
It's not even like, my imagination of infinity is just endless, but isn't the idea of infinity actually like circular or something like that? Or
well, I mean, when I think
don't
about infinity, I don't think like a straight line that goes on forever.
That's what I think. Yeah.
I think about a ball that goes off in every direction forever. So it's just endless because it's not just endless possibilities, it's endless deviations of all possibilities, no?
It kind of depends what you mean by infinity.
Okay.
So there's the kind of the mathematical concept of infinity, which is just all of the numbers.
Right.
Like a number that is just infinitely large.
Okay.
And that's kind of what gets brought in when you're talking about things like probability or, replicating this exact room, but everyone's green.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like there are a finite number of arrangements of particles. So in an infinite space,
Okay.
sooner or later, you will find another arrangement of particles that exactly matches this one.
Okay.
Right.
And, for astrophysics, you can kind of do this mathematically and say the distance to the nearest exact duplicate of our planet is 10 to the power 10 to the power 26 meters.
So that's massive.
Yes.
That's absolutely
That's an insanely
vast.
huge number.
But that
I
means
ran
that,
the numbers in my head.
that means that there is a duplicate of our planet.
If space is infinite, yes.
Okay.
Well, doesn't that, for you to say that, you said there's only a finite number of particles.
There's a finite number of arrangements of particles.
But so how do you know that?
Uh,
Is that just a finite number of particles that we know about? Like what's a particle?
okay, so the universe has sort of fundamental building blocks.
Yes.
And the physical theory behind this is called the Standard Model. And it says there are like, these are the basic things. And it's the 6 quarks, electrons, neutrinos. I'm probably going to forget a few off the top of my head.
Bosons?
Are a type of particle, so yes.
Yeah. I just felt like I wanted to contribute.
That's well in, Freddy.
Thank you, mate.
And there are really strong physical laws about how these particles can stack together.
Yeah.
So
is that not just what we know from our own experience on this planet and this galaxy? Could we not venture to another galaxy one day? Well, obviously not, but couldn't there be another galaxy where that so happens to be 2 more particles?
So this is a really interesting question because the
Thank
particles we know of.
That's why he's here. That's the reason that he's here. He just throws out interesting questions. You see,
Brilliant, yeah.
looks can be very deceiving. And I know that Rob looks like a fat blowhard, but actually, underneath that mass of whale blubber is quite an intelligent.
I'm like the infinite monkeys with infinite typewriters. I blow so hard, so long that eventually I come up with something interesting.
He's also privately educated as well. Is Rob?
Like,
So there's,
even poor people deserve an education.
there's a smartness there. Sort of like if Goodwill Hunting like ate lots of hamburgers.
I could just play. That's what I could be doing what you do now, but I never put myself. I never pushed.
Just chose a different path. You were Goodwill Hunting, but you stayed to your working class roots.
Well, imagine Goodwill Hunting. Have you seen the Goodwill Hunting?
Yes.
It's my favourite film. You know the scene.
Is it your favourite film?
Yes. You know this.
Goodwill Hunting
is my favourite film.
Is your favourite film?
Freddie, I think I'm Will Hunting. Why would it not be my based on the narcissism of me? Why would that not be my favourite film?
Goodwill Hunting can't be your favourite.
It's my favourite.
It's a good film.
It's my favourite film.
It can't be.
Why can it not be?
Because it
has everything you need in life. It has friendship. It has love. It has natural talent. It has people coming from different areas of life.
Right, okay.
It has the idea of revenge.
It's a 7.5 out of 10 film. It's a good film. You put on Goodwill Hunting.
Do you know why it's only 7.5 out of 10 for you? Because you've got no feelings.
No.
Because you don't feel things. You're a bit of you know yourself. You're a bit of a
You're getting defensive about it being your favourite film.
It's my favourite film.
Rob, I just have to say it's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's not your fault.
Not you, man.
Rob, it's not your fault.
Man. Not you,
man. Not your fault.
Anyway, what was
That
I saying?
bit-
Particles.
Right,
Particles, yeah.
right?
No, but what I was saying, go on. I don't know. Particles, explain to me more.
Right. So our understanding of physics
Yeah.
is consistent with those laws being the same across the entire observable universe.
Exactly. So you make an assumption.
It is an assumption, but it's also one that matches the observations.
Yeah, because we can only observe what we have in front of us, can't we?
Yeah. So our observable universe fits with our model of how physics works.
Yeah.
But there are, I mean, I mentioned this the other day, Hubble Bubbles is a theory that there are multiple expanding universes next to each other,
Yeah.
and their physical laws can be different.
Yeah.
So while for our universe...
Who called it Hubble Bubbles?
So it's named after an astronomer called Hubble, same as the Hubble telescope.
Yeah.
And it's, I can't remember who actually added the bubble part. It's just an application of his discovery.
I just like the idea that like space is sold out. Like sold out to Hubble Bubble. It's like, right, we're going to start marketing galaxies. Fuck it.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
nothing
yeah.
else left we can put our name to. Let's just start marketing galaxies.
Astrophysicists are terrible at names.
Yeah, they are.
There's
Like,
a thing called the Extremely Large Telescope,
Yeah.
and then they've built another
Really?
bigger one, and they've called it the Overwhelmingly Large Telescope.
really?
Yeah.
Are they not worried to like getting ahead of themselves because that's going to be another bigger one soon?
Yeah.
The truly amazingly massive telescope.
Stratospherically enormous telescope.
The oh my god, you won't believe
And
how
then
big
after
this
that,
telescope is.
it'll be the Robbed Thomas telescope.
I might invent a telescope one day.
It's a fat joke.
I got it.
See, usually
The problem with making fat jokes, Freddy, is you're sitting there fat.
But yeah, well, I know, but I'm usually the fattest one in the room. So when I'm not, I feel like it's
Again,
overwhelming urge to pass it all on.
We've had this out. You're still the fattest one in this room.
No, it's not possible.
I promise you, your BMI is worse than mine.
No. Yours is.
I promise you.
Your gravitational pull is bigger than my gravitational pull.
This
is astrophysicist
I promise
banter.
you, we could walk up 2 flights of stairs and you'd be out of breath before me.
Well, that's because I've got asthma.
We've all got asthma. Okay, no one wants to wear a mask.
Do you know, like, how scientists are really bad at, like, naming stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it does my head in when you find a new star and you're like, what should we call it? And then they call it, like, the NT1Z539-4.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, call it something fun.
You sound like Elon Musk's bird now. Oh, do we have to call it that? Yes.
What's he called his kid again?
Oh,
I think it's the dial-up internet noise. I think it's that.
It's just like, why do you fucking like random symbols and shit?
Finn, can you Google what Elon Musk's?
That kid's gonna get fucking bullied as well, innit?
Yeah, well,
like, oh, what's
you
your
say
name?
that though, but it'll just be homeschooled, won't it?
What's your name, Mike? What's your name, Pete? What's your name? AXA infinity symbol.
Bullying?
Cool. We're gonna fucking punch you first.
Bullying's just something that happens to poor kids. I don't think it happens to rich kids.
No, because there's always relative richness and poorness, isn't there? So the school that Elon Musk sends his kid to...
but at some point you get enough money to never have to send your kids to school.
No, but they're all going to go to a school, but also at that school
you
there's
just
going to be
homeschool them. That's much more common in America.
They're not going to homeschool their kids, are they?
They're not going to do it, are they?
No, I know, but...
You're going to have enough money to just hire in all the teachers.
Yeah, but part of the reason that people homeschool their kids, like rich people, let's be fair... No, sorry, part of the reason that they would send them to school is to get them out of the fucking house.
Yeah, but... Yeah, that's board. Well, we obviously know that boarding school and
so that's what they do.
The rich history of boarding school.
What's the kid called?
So it's spelled
XAEA-12. XAEA-12.
Pronounces it
X-A-12. Sounds like a fucking Star Wars character, doesn't it? It sounds like one of the, like...
Yeah.
One of the... again, I don't know Star
Just
Wars
get
as well as I
called
imagine that you do. I've never watched Star Wars.
Have you not?
You've never watched Star Wars?
Nope. Or...
This is the first...
Oh, shit, you're actually wearing a Star Wars
Finn,
top.
look at my keys on the top shelf.
I've never...
Darth Vader.
I've never watched an episode of Star Wars or anything.
I know you said it.
It just doesn't fucking...
Yeah, I know, that's the problem, yeah. I went to attack him for saying episode and went, actually it is, yeah. Episode, yeah.
It just doesn't resonate with me.
I feel like this is the first time in 10 minutes me and Ben have been on the same side.
Really?
We both think you're a prick.
I just don't get it. I don't get what I'd be missing. I know that I'm your father thing, so...
I think it's just, I don't know, I think I got into it for sentimental reasons. My dad watched it with me and then you sort of stage with you sort of thing. Like it's just
I don't know. I'm just not.
it's the only sci-fi I watch. I don't enjoy sci-fi.
I don't enjoy sci-fi.
Well, you don't like
either.
space, so
Yeah. I just don't see the point in sci-fi. It's just like why are we writing things about things that don't exist?
Did you watch Game of Thrones?
No.
I was the same, mate. I switched it off.
Not dragons and tits. It's like, all right, well,
Dragons and tits.
like, well, I'm not asked.
What's the most sci-fi thing you've ever kind of like bought into? Have you watched Interstellar?
No.
Interstellar's the tits. It's good.
People say that I watched about 10 minutes of it and turned it off. So I think the last sci-fi thing I enjoyed was Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence, where the
passengers.
Is it Passengers? Yeah, where his machine breaks, so he wakes her up because she's fit. I think because it related to it, like
I mean, that is
he's
kind
on
of the plot of the movie. Yeah,
he's on his own for 100 years. He thinks, exactly, he'll be on my own, or I can wake up this Fitbit, and then we'll be on the road together, and then we can test out that theory. Not either of you, the last man on earth.
So there must have been a bit where he wakes up and she's there. He realizes she's quite fit, and he after a while just cracks one off, like looking at her.
I don't know. I'm not.
And then he must do that more. And then it must get to the point where that stops kind of working for him. And he's like, if I wake her up, I'll never be able to crack one off over
If I wake her
again.
up, maybe she'll give me a wank. Maybe
Maybe
she'll touch it.
yeah. But I'll never be able to whack one off over her face again because she'll be there.
So
but maybe.
the reason that we name stars long strings of numbers and letters.
I thought it was... So, this is from The Simpsons, and maybe this is just natural disasters. I thought they were all named after the person who discovered them. Like, that was the rule.
Early on, that was the system.
Yeah.
The problem is there are like 200 billion stars in our galaxy.
Yeah.
And about the same number of galaxies, again, that we can see. So if you start actually giving them names, you just run out.
Really?
There are simply too many.
But
to
it
do
would
that
be
with.
fun though, wouldn't it? Like rather than like, oh, that's 793-261. Like, oh, that's Karen's fat tits. Yeah, just over there by lawnmower teeth or whatever. Do you know what I mean? And just have a bit of fun with it.
It's like assign 2 random nouns, and that's the name of the star.
Well,
now.
you should let the person who discovered them name them.
Let that fucking computer that's coming up with all the words of Shakespeare, just whatever word that fucking computer comes up with next.
Yeah.
Sorted. And then there's a use for it, and then you're happy.
What you should do is every time there's a new... starting from today, when they find a new star, pick a Shakespeare play and name every new star one word. And then eventually, the infinite number of stars will come up with a Shakespeare play.
Yeah, but there's more than like this. Shakespeare used to repeat words.
Yeah, sounds.
Yeah, but then you've got fucking 40 million stars called thou.
Yeah, but you just thou, and then like the Bible, you have to like sort of the verse and stuff next to it.
Thou 1,
Yeah,
thou 2.
Thou Act 3, Scene 12.
That's ridiculous. That's fucking ridiculous.
That's an amazingly good system. I will suggest this.
Do you believe in aliens?
Yes.
What do you base that off?
So, similarly to you, it's a numbers game. Like I just said, how many stars there are out there. Based on our discovery of exoplanets so far, most stars have planets around them.
What's exoplanets?
So exoplanets are planets beyond our solar system.
Right.
Yeah, Rob, you fucking idiot.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Why can't you just call them planets?
Because planet is more commonly used to refer to planets in our solar system. So we need a slightly different word to make it clear what we're talking about.
I feel that sounds a bit racist. That is like when football fans refer to, no, that's our one. So he's all right. He's not. That's our one.
Yeah.
So the others are this name, but that one's our one. So he doesn't.
I don't notice when that planet dies.
Yeah. I think he's being a bit,
All planets matter over here.
Exactly.
So it's not just the exoplanets, is it? Not just them.
Anyways, fucking loads of them, right?
Right.
Again, I've heard that come out of someone's mouth. Too many, I think, is what he follows it with.
Yeah. Coming over here, inhabiting our orbits.
And the universe is really old.
Yeah.
It's like 14 billion years, which is a lot of years.
Some of them exoplanets are good workers, Rob. You've got to remember that.
It's the olive oil. That's what my nan says.
I'll tell you what, I don't want any of them exoplanets living next door to me.
Yeah, I wouldn't want them in our galaxy.
But they do make good food. Give you that much. Do give you that much. There's one exoplanet that I know, really nice. But still, You know, there's a finite amount of space in our solar system.
Exactly.
Welcome to the racist cosmos.
It's called Pigoted. Like, if anything, I'm living up to the name.
I just love the idea of racist astrologers.
So exoplanets are any planet.
Astrologers.
Astronomers. What's the astronomer?
Astrologist is like, the moon's too far away, so I'm crying.
Do you know what? I met Russell Grant once when I was a kid. You know, Russell Grant
I thought
is
of
a
Russell Crowe
famous.
when you said that. Then I was like, is he
Russell Grant was a famous astrologer. He's still alive, but he's not famous anymore. That's
shown by the fact that only 50% of the room knows him?
yeah. You know him, don't you?
No,
So he's like a little fat gay Welshman, basically.
that's why Finn knows him.
That's why Finn knows him, because Finn is fat and gay. That was. Oh yeah, you're not Welsh, are you? Turkish Welsh, very similar. Very similar.
He's a twerk.
Turkish and
The
Welsh.
astronomers who are
The amount of
racist.
time I've been to a Turkish restaurant and got rarebit on toast. Very similar cultures.
So exoplanet is every planet outside of our galaxy,
Correct.
even though there's an infinite number of galaxies.
Yes.
You don't think that's a little bit like,
So it's
you know,
about.
putting them all in one?
I mean, it is a little bit, but on purpose. So the scientific discipline of studying planets in our solar system
Yeah.
works very, very differently to studying planets in other solar systems because they're really far away.
Right.
So we don't get to like send probes to them and like collect soil samples.
Yeah.
Have little rovers drive around.
So how many soil samples from different planets have we got?
Off the top of my head, I mean, we've definitely got moon rocks. We've got soil samples from Mars, like coming back now, essentially. I think that's about it at the moment.
Do you
Because you
think?
said that like we had all of them.
Do you think we're going to like come across aliens in your lifetime?
For a given value of come across,
Yeah, discover.
potentially, yeah.
What
'Cause,
about in me and Rob's lifetime? Next 15 years, what are we saying?
Okay, so this is actually one of the things I wanted to talk about because
I was dying. Listen,
Heart
you
disease.
I'm here to help you.
Less sodium in your diet, lads. Come on. When you go to the Turkish restaurant, order the rarebit. Go on.
so there's a thing called the Fermi Paradox.
Yes, I know about the Fermi Paradox. Can I explain it so I sound smart?
Go for it.
Do you know what the Fermi Paradox is?
And enlighten me, go on.
So the Fermi Paradox is, if there's aliens in the universe, where are they?
Yeah.
So where are they? How come we haven't come across them? How come they haven't tried to get in touch?
Right.
How come we're not being fucking bombarded with fucking PPI calls from other universes?
Right.
Have you crashed into a spaceship and it wasn't your fault? Sort of shit.
Again, that's an arrogance on the human part that they'd be the same as us. Like an alien must have the same level of consciousness as us.
Well,
Couldn't like an alien could just be insects on Mars.
so, okay. Do you want to jump in?
Yeah, absolutely. So that is a form of life that definitely can exist.
Yes.
It's just there are other animals like dolphins swimming in the seas of Europa, whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
The question is, given how big the universe is, given how old it is, given how much time there has been for things to happen, something should probably have shown up that we would recognize as life. Even if there's like
Yeah,
millions
you
and
just
millions
said
of
we've been
different-
the moon and to Mars, and we haven't even come back from Mars yet.
Well, we've had like probes go to Mars and come back, but we've not sent people there yet.
Could it not
Yeah,
be
but
the
like
case?
you said you got soil on the way back, so we haven't even like. Well, one of them soil comes back and it's got like an alien ant.
So we
Like, and all of a sudden it's like, well, they are showing themselves. We were a bit, prejudiced. But
So
we
the
called them
soil-
lazy. Turns out we just hadn't travelled far enough.
So bringing soil back from Mars is a new thing, but running experiments on the soil we've been doing for decades.
Yeah.
So one of the things the rovers go up and do is that they've got little like laboratory setups.
Yeah.
So they're like taking samples and running tests there. So we're pretty confident that there aren't like ants living
Well,
in the
That's
soil
it.
of Mars.
Again, though, to do that, you've got to trust the machines.
Could they not? Could
I
they
don't
not
trust
have?
machines.
I mean, could they not have? Could aliens not have visited us in, like, let's say, 900 AD, right? And they came down and they were like, yo, we're aliens. And they like tried to have a conversation with us, and we were like, oh, you're not aliens, you're just from fucking wrong corner or whatever. You're just from fucking Eurasia or whatever. Like, oh, I know you guys, you're not aliens or whatever. And they're like, no, we are legit aliens. But our understanding was so far removed that we didn't understand these people as being aliens. And so they fucked off.
That's like the saying, that's like the saying, if a lion could talk, you wouldn't understand what it had to say, because your relevant points and the way you see life, the way it sees life is so different. You wouldn't be able to hold a conversation. So maybe like that's the same with aliens. You're thinking they come down here and went, get on these, nah.
Yeah, well, I just think that
went, never go back there.
I just think that if an alien came,
like I've never gone back to Saltburn because I had a bad gig. So I think aliens come down there and was like, mate, tried to hold a conversation with them for 5 minutes, nothing.
Yeah, it's just fucking
it's wasteland.
Scratch that one off the fucking map.
Yeah.
Little cigarette burn through Earth. I mean, what I meant is like, if there was a spaceship in the sky now, and classic fucking beam of light came down, and it was an alien with fucking like how we imagine an alien to be, we would be able to be like, oh shit, an alien, and then we'd know aliens existed. But if it happened 1,000 years ago, back when society was still forming and we didn't really talk to each other, and all we had to make a record of it was just fucking chiseling it out onto some pots or some shit like that, then couldn't it be the case that they have been in touch, but we didn't record it properly or we didn't observe it properly?
So this is one of the proposed solutions to the Fermi Paradox is, the signs appeared, like we had the opportunity to recognize it, but we just didn't know what we were looking at. It was too early in our development. We didn't have the technology. We didn't have the kind of understanding of the universe.
This is where we get to pyramids. Come on.
We're not going into the ancient astronaut nonsense.
Oh, why not?
Because it's nonsense.
Why is it you're saying it's nonsense and you just said maybe we just didn't know what we were looking for?
Explain to me.
Well, it's just, I don't know it myself. And like the idea that aliens built the pyramids, and that you look at the etchings on the wall, there's actually ones that you can't really understand, and it's the idea that they've tried to record the interaction with the aliens sort of thing. And maybe they met aliens that you had to fly 2,000 years to get to that planet, and then so it's going to be another 2,000 years before they come back again.
So the ancient astronaut thing is, as you say, like, what if aliens visited us in the distant past, taught us all of the impressive feats of giant engineering?
Oh no, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like they came down. Like, they don't have to teach us.
View of gods or myths or whatever.
Oh really?
And there is no evidence for it other than like this squiggle that an Egyptian carved looks a little bit like a helicopter if you squint.
Right.
The thing is, though, as well, is if
you're looking, I think that's a very ignorant way of looking.
If you're working on the pyramids, right, and there's millions of Jews working on the pyramids, and I don't know why I paused. Well, but it's the pause. It's the pause that makes it sound bad.
Because you're factually accurate, but
exactly. But I wondered whether or not I get into trouble, and then I realised I don't care, and then it was afterwards that I thought about. Anyway, right. Let's say you're working in between fucking what are Jewish names?
Abraham
and Isaac, right? You're working in between Abraham and Isaac, right? But fucking Isaac's work is sloppy, and you're like, come on, Isaac, that doesn't look like a fucking eye. And he's chiseling, and he goes, shut up, Abraham, like that, and he oh, look what you fucking made me do. And then they go, oh, don't worry about it, no one will fucking notice, this thing's massive. And then in 2,000 years' time, people are going, oh, look at that squiggle, that looks a bit like a helicopter. When really it was just Isaac that just fucked up.
That's what Ben thinks happens, what I'm saying.
But I think that's more likely, isn't it?
Ignorant about it. Of course it's more likely, but then surely it's all more likely sort of thing. Like, if you're thinking of aliens coming down, you got to think past the obvious, haven't you?
No, I think in all cases, the most likely thing is what's correct.
Well, then that's just science is pointless, then, isn't it?
No, I think that. No, go on, you tell him, Ben.
Okay, so the principle Freddy's talking about is called Occam's razor.
Yeah,
and it's usually misquoted as the simplest solution is usually right.
Yeah,
it's actually do not introduce entities without necessity. So if you can explain what you are observing with the things that you already understand to exist, that's probably going to be the right explanation. So you don't kind of. You look at a squiggle on a pyramid wall.
You spent a whole episode telling a flat earther not to think like that. Because he said, I only trust my senses, which are the only things he understands. And then you went, no, you can't think like that.
No, because this is actually very different. So the flat earther
would be.
Go on.
Right. So the laws of physics, as we understand them, explain the globe Earth and everything we observe in the sky.
Yeah.
In order for the Earth to be flat, you need to invoke some kind of divine creator, a huge globe dome thing
the
above you
dome.
with the stars on it. Completely different laws of optics that apply only to the sun and moon and nothing else. Like you've got to introduce so many new things into your explanation in order to make it work.
Right.
So that's how Occam's razor applies to the flat Earth.
Yeah, like look, if you
I'm not a flat earther. I just think
So you're-
you saying that and then disregarding him for going be incredibly basic.
so you got a kid, right?
Yes.
So imagine you're feeding your kid, right? And your kid's in its high chair, and you've got a bowl of fucking baby food or whatever, and you go, I'm just going to nip to the loo, and you go for a piss, and you come back, and that baby food's on the floor.
Yeah.
What do you assume?
Well, where did I leave it?
Well, so you left it on the fucking.
I left it on the high chair.
Yeah.
Oh, well, he's knocked it off, obviously.
There you go. You don't go, I know what's happened here. A horse has come in uninvited and flipped it.
If I'm convinced I left it on the table.
You are?
What if I'm convinced I left it on the table?
No, but it's regardless. But if you were convinced that you left it on the table, you'd go, I was wrong. You wouldn't go, oh, well.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Scientists don't know. Like, if I'm there, like, sure, I left it on the table, then something mad could have happened. And you're telling me I need to just think of the simplest solution when really the evidence says to me I left it on the table.
Yeah, but you can
what
make...
I understand about that situation is I left it on the table, so now I need to think...
You can make deductions, though, can't you? You can make reasonable deductions. No.
Yeah, of course you can, but what I'm saying...
Occam's razor is a first step to understanding any situation. So, okay, if you've left the bowl on the high chair and it's now on the floor, you can infer kid knocks off. If you're certain you left it on the table, then something else is happening.
Yes.
So your next step is like, okay, what could it be? That's when you start hypothesizing. And then you start testing. Like if I leave it on the table again, set up a camera, and then go outside, what happens?
You know, aliens, going back to this idea of setting up cameras and stuff.
Yeah.
What are we doing currently to try and see whether or not aliens exist?
So there are 4 main ways that we could detect aliens, all of which are kind of being actively looked at.
Okay.
So just get to Mars and shout hello. We tried that one, because I feel like that should be the first. That's the simplest solution.
We've sent a robot the size of a car to drive around.
It's the whole of Mars, though. Send the robot the size of car drive around Bootle. I'm not going to notice. And you're going to go, well, Rob doesn't exist, does he? Because he didn't show himself. It's like, because you were driving down Stanley Road and I was on Hawthorne Road.
It's the Scouse way of space exploration, is to send a man up there to go, all right, la, like that. And then we'll all go, all right there, kid.
Well, when you told me we were going to talk aliens and that, one of my questions I was going to ask was, once you meet an alien, will they have different drugs? And if they did, how long would it take for a scouser to get over there, cut out the middleman, and just start bringing drugs back? Because I reckon once NASA's up there, we're not going to be far behind.
Oh, yeah, they're going to regulate it all, aren't they? They'll put a lot of bureaucratic red tape in there.
There'll be some scouser who'll get on Mars and be like, listen, where's the head alien? I need to make a deal.
Do you think that, like, it's a good idea to... Oh, he's got his black book out. This is never a good idea. Oh, this is never a good idea. When the black book comes out, shit kicks off.
Does it?
Mate, the black book came out with a flat earther and he calculated the curvature of the earth and passed it to him. And then the flat earther looked at it and pretended to understand. And I had no fucking idea.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, that's just pointless, isn't it? That's like, oh, yeah, here's the curvature of the earth. Like, what do you show me this for? Like, it's like showing me a salad. Like, what's the fucking point?
It was the mathematics of how to figure out like how much of something you can see at a certain distance,
right?
Based on the curvature of the Earth.
So what are we going back to the what we're doing to find aliens?
Yep.
So
4 signs of aliens we can detect.
So number 1, going up to Mars and saying hello.
Is not one of them.
Not one of them.
Right. So yeah, we're pretty sure there aren't aliens in our solar system. There's maybe potentially life on Europa, but
what's Europa?
So Europa is one of the moons of. I'm going to be really embarrassed if I get this wrong.
It's for people who were relegated from the Champions League moon.
If you're not in the top 4, not the top 4 planets closest to the sun, and the next 2 are in Europa.
Yeah, if you're an exoplanet, that hasn't managed to fucking accrue enough points In the interplanetary cup or whatever. You go to Europa.
Why are you so sure there's no aliens in our solar system? What makes us so certain?
Because surely there's a. Sorry to jump over you, but I am also an expert.
You're going to say there's a telescope?
No, I'm going to say that surely there's a Goldilocks type zone where there is. Oh, am I right?
Yep.
Oh, fucking yes.
What's Goldilocks type zone?
So, as in not too hot, not too cold. Just
Again,
right.
no, surely that's an arrogance of us
So
to saying like nothing that we know would survive on that planet.
it's a bit more.
We don't
than
have
that.
to understand that. It's a bit more than that.
Yeah.
Why?
Okay, so
Could someone not evolve to live off the atmosphere that's on that planet?
it comes down to a question of what is life, like at a
Yeah.
fundamental level.
Right.
Life is a really complex set of chemical reactions. And you need, in order for that degree of complexity to happen, you need something that has really good bonding capability. So carbon is a really good choice. And you need something to make that all easier.
Mm-hmm.
And the best thing to do that is water.
Right.
Water is an incredibly powerful solvent, and it's also absolutely abundant in the universe.
Yeah.
So that is why most searches for extraterrestrial life focus on liquid water.
I thought it was because they drink water. I thought that was the reason. And you can fuck off because you did as well.
I didn't.
You
I
did
didn't
as
at
well.
all. I
I thought that it would be like, like an oasis in the desert, and you get there and there'd be like some fucking thing with 12 heads drinking.
Again, we're sort of like going, oh, well, that's what that'd look like.
Well, I thought that's why they looked for water, because it was something to drink.
I mean, all life that we have on the Earth drinks water, but that
this is
could
my
just
point,
be
yeah.
because
We're on Earth, and that's why we've evolved.
Okay.
But in terms of reaching the required level of chemical complexity to have a self-replicating molecule like RNA,
Yeah. I mean, now you've explained it. Indeed, now I've said it out loud, out of my mouth, I've realised what a fucking ridiculous premise that is. That there's some aliens on fucking...
Because they'll be sort of hanging around.
Yeah, there's aliens on Mars going, I'm fucking parched. This is fucking bullshit, this is bollocks. Right, okay, so it's because water is a solvent and it's needed to make the chemical reactions that we know need to be made in order for life to happen.
yes, in order to achieve the required level of complexity.
Right.
So you can, in principle, swap out carbon for silicon,
Yeah.
which also has similar kind of bonding abilities.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just thinking of aliens with massive tits. I'm just thinking of Pamela fucking Anderson aliens.
Listen, if Pamela Anderson was on a different planet, these nerds have found her by now. Fucking hell. Incels with a telescope. You telling me they wouldn't have found Pamela Anderson?
Oh my god.
Hell, I've had no luck with all the life on this planet. I'm going to go and find one on another one.
Okay, right.
Yeah. So you could swap carbon for silicon, but there are no good solvents for silicon in the same abundances as water is. So
On any planet.
just in the universe. So we have a pretty good handle on what the abundances of various elements are in the universe.
Right.
Why? How do we have the handle?
So there's a process called Big Bang nucleosynthesis,
Yeah.
which is how elements are produced in the very early universe.
Yeah.
Those then form into stars, and the stars, like we talked about this the other day, the stars are what produce the rest of the elements past hydrogen.
Yeah.
And the physics of all of that is really well understood.
Right.
So we can kind of run the clock from the Big Bang to now and go like, okay, we have a rough handle on this much hydrogen, this much helium, this much lithium, carbon, whatever. So
He's so clever, isn't he?
Isn't
he clever?
I'm just thinking, I think these are all very narrow-minded.
Oh, fuck off. Fuck off.
It's like, oh, these are the things we know, and that's all it can be.
This is the wokest fucking argument ever. But guys, what do we think is an alien? We need to consider diversity in this.
I'm just saying, like, oh yeah.
So I think that if we come across alien life forms in our life, I think that we're going to be all, I think, really disappointed, because in our heads,
I think the most chance that there's going to be a life on another planet is it's going to be like an insect or something.
I don't even think that. I think it's going to be bacteria.
Boring,
I think it's just going to be bacteria.
Oh, yeah. Like, well, I'm thinking more like fully formed sort of.
But I think that that's what we're going to find.
Yeah.
And we're going to be like, there's an alien life form. Everyone's going to go, shit. It's like it's in this petri dish, and you have to view it through this magnifying glass, and it just looks like all the other fucking shit that we've got on Earth. But we found this in Mars, and everyone's gonna go, I don't give a fuck.
I mean, statistically speaking, that is the most likely thing for us to find first, because simplest forms of life happen more quickly. It takes time to build something as complicated as like a fish.
And then what you do is you capture the bacteria, take it back to Earth, and then hold it hostage and broadcast videos of it with like today's paper and a gun to the fucking petri dish and broadcast it back to the home planet and go, show us something better, and we're fucking blowing its head off. And then that way, like a little guy comes out, and then you capture him, and you go, show us your fucking city. And then that's how you...
So you work your way up.
We could have just said hello. Like, the little guys down here, like, if you said hello, mate, does it come out? Well, you sent a fucking car. What do you want me to do?
Would you be... Right, so here's the thing, right? Let's say we got bacteria, right? And the bacteria, we brought it back to Earth, and it was in a petri dish or whatever, right? My worry would be that some fucking klutz had like, fucking Isaac and Abraham.
Yeah.
Isaac could be fucking...
Isaac's at it again.
Yeah, what are you up to this weekend, bro, lad? Oh, shit, I've just fucking dropped the dish.
Yeah.
And now we're all inhaling alien fumes, and within like a week, we're all dead. Like,
I wouldn't put it past someone to try and snort it or lick it.
I'd fucking love
Think
that.
how many times you run for your head. You're like, I wonder if I licked that, what would happen?
Yeah.
At some point during this podcast, I thought, if I just licked that phone, what would it feel like?
Really?
Like, so I'm sure.
Wow, that's a homosexual urge coming out for you, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah, this phallic microphone that you're thinking about licking, putting in your mouth. This is why you're fat.
Everything gets licked. So I've been with the same woman for 18 years now as well.
This is why you're spherical.
Just constantly licking.
So contamination by alien microbes is actually pretty low risk.
Why?
Because they would not have evolved to attack us. So there are diseases that
Yeah, but bats didn't evolve to attack us, and look where we are now.
This is true. So what you get... So a lot of the kind of plagues in humans are things that have crossed over from animals.
Yeah.
So usually cattle are kind of a big source.
Yeah.
But our biology is similar enough that it can still attack us, and different enough that it wipes us out.
Okay.
That's generally how a plague works. But there are hundreds of diseases that animals get that we are completely immune to, just by dint of the fact that our biology is different to theirs.
Like
So
kennel cough.
Statistically, it's statistically likely that when it come, we'd be so biologically different to it that it wouldn't be able to affect us.
Like, there's no reason to assume that the way our cells are structured would make sense to whatever it evolved for.
Yeah.
So the chances are it would just kind of pass us by. Now, there is a concern over contamination in terms of sending probes and stuff out.
Yeah.
But it's mostly a scientific concern. It's about if we send a probe up to Mars and it goes, I've actually found some microbes. Do you want to have a look at these? We want to know they're actually from Mars.
Yeah.
And they're not just like
I haven't gone over with
Jeff
this.
at NASA sneezed on the probe.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Do you not spray them?
So there's a person at NASA whose job it is to oversee the decontamination and kind of clean room work on all of the probes.
It's called a cleaner.
Planetary Protection Officer.
Fuck off, cleaner. That's his name. Planetary Protection
Weird thing is,
Officer.
it's so close to PPE as well.
Yeah.
PPO.
PPO.
So in terms of finding microbes, like I mentioned Europa, I'm pretty sure it's a moon of Jupiter. Might be Saturn. Can't remember off the top of my head.
That's the one with the dolphins in, isn't it?
So Europa has liquid water on it.
Yeah, you said there was
Really?
dolphins in it before.
I hypothesized that there could be dolphins in it.
That's what I'm remembering to tell me, Nan.
Imagine that. Imagine
Nan,
the
there's dolphins in the moon.
imagine the journey for that Make-A-Wish kid.
Punt you off to the moon.
Swimming with dolphins in Europa. Unfortunately, it's 40 million light years away, so you'll be dead by the time you get there. In fact, you're going to be dead by the time I finish this sentence, so I don't know why I fucking bothered mentioning it. But yeah. Fucking hell.
So yeah, so the Goldilocks Zone, as you mentioned,
Yeah.
is
that an actual fucking thing?
that is one of the names for it, yeah.
Holy shit.
Because as you say, it's not too hot and not too cold. It's the region around our sun where liquid water can exist just through kind of solar heating.
That's literally just something that I just thought of off the top of my head. Fucking hell. Smart by accident. I fucking love this podcast.
So there's 3 bears on another planet somewhere.
One of the Mars rovers comes and tries to blow the house.
That's the 3 little pigs, that.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Yeah,
So what's the 3 bears then,
Not
Goldilocks?
too hot, not too cold, the porridge, and then the beds. One's too hard, one's too soft, one's right, one's just right.
Oh, yeah.
Do not think too hard about the fact that Mummy Bear and Daddy Bear sleep in separate beds.
Really?
Well, for there to be 3
Jesus.
beds.
Well,
Problem, innit?
we know someone very close to home who also sleeps in separate beds. So.
Do we?
Yeah.
Who?
Nightingale?
Oh, right. Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he sleeps in separate beds.
I wouldn't mind that, to be honest with you.
Oh, mate, it'd be absolutely ideal.
Mate, yeah. If I could
Get away with it.
if I could get it. Oh, yeah, yeah. It's just, I tell you what it is, though. It's just when you propose that to your other half, you cannot make it sound like a good deal.
You've got to put it. You got to make it think it's their idea.
Yeah.
And it's just I haven't found a way to go. Hey, we just got 2 queen beds in this room rather than 1 big king size one.
Yeah.
I just want to try and just constantly just sort of.
What does your other half do, sleeping wise, that pisses you off?
Everything. The quilt's too warm. She likes to get in. So good football analogy. No offense, Ben. Cross.
Fucking hell.
Cross was it right though?
Are you just assuming that I have no interest whatsoever in football? Because
Yes.
you are 100% correct.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair.
What I did was I used what was that thingy? Ottoman something.
Ottoman's couch. It's
What was that thing? The
Occam's
simplest
razor, yeah.
thing is going to be correct. That's what I did there. So like a goalkeeper.
yeah, you are the simplest thing, and you were correct. Go on.
A goalkeeper comes for the cross in football.
Yeah.
And like this traditional way of teaching them is you raise your knee as you go for the ball, stop anyone sort of
Yes,
interfering
and
with
also
you.
as well, you
So that's how my
fucking-
wife sleeps. She sleeps with her knee like that, ready to just boot me.
Couldn't
ready
have
to
said
just knee me in the back.
fetal position, no?
No, well, fetal position both, isn't it?
Oh, right, okay. She's
one,
just got
one leg
knee.
down, one leg. One
Like
knee
she's
up.
catching a cross.
Yeah, like she's catching a cross because her hands are always up here as well. So you're either getting scratched in the face or kneed in the back.
Do you know what my other half does that annoys me when she's sleeping? Is we'll be sleeping and I'll be trying to get to sleep, and she can't just turn over like a normal human being might turn over. So she can't just sort of like go, I believe that I'm going to turn onto this side now, and just gently move. What she does is she does like, you know, when crocodiles have got prey in their mouth and they do that death roll.
I do that.
It's literally like that, and it fucking messes up all the bed sheets. The fucking the bed sheet
Comes
covers.
off, yeah,
it comes off at the side. The pillows get skewed.
I'm bad
with.
for that. That's like a little jump when you
Yeah,
turn
because
over.
she's there trying to drown a water buffalo by fucking turning around in bed. Oh, it's a nightmare. I don't like having covers on me as well.
I don't.
I don't like having covers on me, and I like sleeping. This is weird, I think. I like sleeping as close to the edge of the bed as possible.
Oh no, I fall off.
So I sort of sleep literally on the edge.
Surely gravity would be like trying to pull you off the bed the whole time.
Well, no, because I'm on the bed,
Yeah.
and so
Yeah, but if it's soft, as you get close to the edge is gonna.
yeah, it does a little
Go like
bit.
that,
It
so
does a
you're-
little bit.
So at some point in the night, the gravity will want to try and roll you over.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't mind that. I don't mind being gently rocked to sleep by gravity. What the fuck were we talking about? Aliens?
The Goldilocks Zone.
The Goldilocks Zone.
Goldilocks
Thank you,
Zone.
Ben, for taking minutes on the podcast as well as being the expert and generally keeping us on track. He's to be fair, he's putting in a fucking shift with this, isn't he? He's putting in a fucking shift.
You wouldn't tell me your second name before, you know.
It's Mummery.
Yeah, it's too late now.
Fair enough.
I wanted to Google it so I could like research you a bit and call you a shill. Find out who pays you.
I'm in the pocket of Big Globe.
Yeah.
Yeah, to tell all the flat earthers they're wrong.
So is it just like?
And I believe this is your first time meeting Big Globe.
I've had you in my pocket this whole podcast. So what's the most annoying thing about people's ignorance to space? Besides from flat, or is it flat Earth?
Maybe when people come up and say, I don't get why people are interested in it, everyone who's interested
That's not an
in it.
ignorance, though. That's just my opinion, sort of thing. Like, what's the most annoying thing that you find about like for me, taxi driving, the most annoying thing I found people's ignorance is they think taxi drivers want to go the longest route, and that's not the case at all. I want to get you out my taxi as quick as possible because I make the most money by, the little £2 to start. That is where you make the most money. The most time you can have that little starting fare, the more money you'll make. So I'll never take anyone the long way because I want you out my cab as quick as possible. So what's your most ignorant people's most ignorant thoughts on space that's dead common?
I don't know. I find moon landing conspiracy theorists kind of boring.
Okay.
The evidence for the moon landing is really, really good. And
is it?
Yeah. And the conspiracy theories are nonsense. But also you can just kind of ignore them, so it's not a huge problem. There is one kind of little bugbear I have, which is the whole thing about, you look in the sky and most of the stars you're seeing are actually dead now.
Yeah.
Which is so close to being right, but kind of has the numbers backwards.
Okay.
Because, the stars are a really long way away.
So
and
you're
light
dead now.
Yes. Yes, if you look at a star, you will die instantly. Do not look at the sky. But so the light takes, decades or centuries to reach you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But stars live for millennia. So actually, the stars are mostly still there.
Oh, right. Okay.
So that's probably people's most common ignorant thing to.
What was the thing that you said about the aliens with the transmission?
Right.
This is so amazing. This
Aliens can't drive a car. That's why we've never seen them.
Yes, that's it. So luckily, as a taxi driver, you're safe for the time being. From these,
get me over there. I'll make a fucking killing.
All right there, lad. Which exoplanet do you want? Oh, it's another fucking £12 to go to an exoplanet, kid.
That's 2,000 miles out my radius. It's gonna have to be at a Green Fair, mate. Sorry, can't do the clock on this one.
I can be there, but I'm picking someone up at Alpha Centauri at 12. God, imagine cabbies in space. Fucking hell.
I'm just round your moon now.
It's the one with the dolphins, yeah? and that sick kid struggling to swim with them. With no oxygen. Right, go on.
Yeah, so going back to the kind of the four ways that we might know aliens exist.
Yes, so
number one is signals. Like deliberately sent out electromagnetic waves.
We send them or they send them.
Either way.
Right.
In order for us to know they exist, they probably have to send them.
Yes.
But that also means they could detect us by the same means.
Yes.
So we, starting in the 20s and then gradually building up, as a planet, we got louder and louder and louder in terms of sending out signals.
Yeah.
And one of the first really high-powered TV broadcasts was actually the Nuremberg rallies.
Yeah.
So there's a non-zero chance that the first signal from us that an alien race would receive would be the Nazis.
And you wonder why they never send that on back.
Yeah.
Right? It's like,
yeah.
But there's actually, it actually kind of doesn't bode well for our ability to detect aliens because over time we've got quieter again. And that's just because we got more efficient.
Like internet and that.
Yeah. So we've transitioned from kind of a lot of radio communication to fiber optics, which don't leak information out into space.
Yeah.
The information that we are kind of bouncing around the globe, the way that works is to either bounce it off satellites or off the ionosphere. And we've tuned that so that we're actually just using the frequencies that do reflect and don't transition through.
Aren't we assuming then that aliens have the same sort of understanding of electromagnetic waves as we do?
So electromagnetism is...
How are they going to pick up electromagnetic wave?
So electromagnetism is one of the four fundamental forces of the universe. So if they've got any degree of comparable scientific understanding, they will have some understanding of electromagnetism.
Yeah, but again, though, that's exactly, if they've got any degree, what are they just getting on with their lives?
I mean...
the way we've evolved and built buildings and all that, what about they would, got none of that bullshit? And
so they're
they're just cracking on.
So they're in 900... AD.
Yeah, but are better for it. What I'm saying is, what if they didn't evolve to make capitalism sort of thing? They're living in a sort of a sort of socialist society. There's no need for
a more primitive society.
A more primitive, but
Well, they're happy. They're made up for it. They're just not.
They didn't see the need to evolve.
There surely
an understanding of electromagnetic waves.
There surely will be some like that, but the overwhelming vast majority will be ones that have understandings of electromagnetism. No.
So this is
it's different galaxies. Maybe there's only the one of them in our galaxy. The idea that like we're just one council estate. You think
Just one.
think of our galaxy
Right.
as one council estate, and then there might be another council estate a few miles away, which is the only other aliens in this galaxy. But then when you look at it and all the galaxies together, you got like Salford. Like,
Get out.
So this is another potential solution to the Fermi paradox, is they are out there, they're just quiet.
And in council estates.
And in little self-contained council estates, yeah.
Don't really want to associate with them. You know, your mum goes, I don't want you hanging round.
Yeah.
I don't want you hanging round there.
So,
Dodgy.
so as an example, like the second and third potential ways of detecting alien life are if they make probes and one of them arrives here, that would be pretty good proof of alien life. And there's a theory called the von Neumann probe.
we sound like a girl who's getting ghosted. Like, I just want to know he's interested. Has he texted you? No. Well, then he's probably not interested.
Yeah.
It's like,
want.
if he just sent a probe, I'd just know.
Yeah,
I would just know.
just want the
I just want
closure.
a probe. Yeah,
If you're not interested,
I just want a probe. It's like aliens don't want to know us. Can we get it?
aliens, if you're not interested in us, just tell us you're not interested in us. Why has it got to be a fucking game?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Why does he have to come down in ancient Egypt 2,000 years ago and just hang around, and now he's ghosting me for 2,000 years?
Imagine if fucking aliens sent fucking Earth a text at 4 a.m. What are you up to? You up?
Yeah.
You up? What are you doing? He doesn't even want it. He thinks he can come round, get his fucking exoplanet goo all over me, and then he'll fuck off.
I think I can change him. So one of them is them reaching out to us.
Yeah. So a von Neumann probe, the idea is you build a probe.
Is that the one that goes up the arse?
No.
What's the thing about aliens probing people up the arse?
There is no scientific basis for the belief that aliens
He's being
have ever
very
visited
fucking
Earth.
coy about this, isn't he? He's being very coy about this.
But again, no, surely there is. If so many people have said they've been probed the arse by aliens, surely there needs to be some sort of scientific investigation.
You can't be telling me that all those hicks are making it up.
Yeah.
I mean, once you start talking about aliens as a thing that can happen, aliens start to get slotted in as the explanation for stuff.
The problem is
happened.
aliens are slotting in. That's the problem. What ways?
Do you know what? I love the idea of an alien fucking you up the arse and then just bending over and whispering in your ear, no one's going to believe you. And there's nothing that you can... That's the worst bit. It's not being anally fucked. It's just going, no, honestly, E.T. raped me. And everyone going, sure he did, John. Whatever, Isaac.
Pretty sure that is Independence Day.
Okay,
Isn't that like...
if you want proof that aliens aren't regularly visiting Earth,
Yeah.
the number of photographs of supposed alien ships per year has stayed basically constant since they started showing up.
Surely that is evidence that they are doing it. It's regular visitors then. Maybe like a day trip.
Except that
Like
over
the
the
aliens
last
put on a
couple
day
of
trip. It's like
Like one of those
you want
red-
proof that Britons aren't going to Benidorm. The same number of Brits have been going to Benidorm every year.
Like one of those red tour buses.
Yeah.
except that over the last few decades, every single one of us has started carrying an HD camera everywhere we go.
Oh, yeah, he's right there, isn't he?
Wow. That's it. Again, you're assuming aliens can be pictured?
No, but I mean, like in the sky, you'd expect more pictures because we've all got fucking phones now, haven't we? That is true. What about, sorry to go sidetracked a bit.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's almost like it's the point of this podcast. What about Area 51? Do you believe that there's something there?
Area 51 is a military test base for experimental aircraft.
So there's not like a...
I don't think there's any reason to expect that there is. Like,
Roosevelt was a good show, though, wasn't it, for a while?
that was all right.
Sky One, yeah.
I didn't see Roosevelt. What was that about?
Just aliens.
Franklin?
No, it's about aliens.
Was it?
Is it Roosevelt or whatever it's called? The area?
Roswell?
That's it.
Roosevelt?
That was one of them, wasn't it?
Bloody hell.
It was something like that.
So yeah, going back to Occam's razor,
Yeah.
like, the military develop experimental planes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Experimental planes must be tested.
Yeah.
Therefore, there must be places where the military can test experimental planes.
Yeah.
Those places must be in controlled airspace and not allow visitors because those things are secret.
Yes.
So all of that can just explain Area 51
Yeah.
without invoking aliens.
What happened last year or 2 years ago when
Are they going to storm it?
when they when they're going to storm it, and two, when they released that, like they released that there's UFOs out there that we just can't explain.
So there's
That was like 2 years ago, and like because of COVID, no one give a fuck. Like everyone,
They were waiting.
Everyone's joke was like, everyone's point was like, oh, they've literally said aliens exist, and no one gives a fuck.
They were waiting for the 9/11 fucking thing, weren't they?
Yeah.
Just to slip it in.
Yeah.
basically everything spoken about in those documents is either explainable as well understood atmospheric phenomenon,
Yep.
or as the sort of thing that a military-industrial complex that wants an excuse to develop new planes would claim is out there.
Oh, okay.
Right.
There's
when
no
you said
hard scientific evidence.
when you said atmospheric phenomenon, what do you mean, sort of thing?
So you get weird things like clouds in strange shapes, certain kind of distortions in the air can create weird lensing effects.
Yeah.
Like strange stuff can appear in the sky.
But
I just feel like surely if you were an alien who wants to come down, pop down, and just have a little look, that's how you'd do it.
here's
It's
the
something that can be explained away.
So
Here's the
Fermi
thing, though.
Paradox solution number 3,
Oh.
they are out there and they are coming here. They're just keeping themselves hidden.
Oh, really?
Keep themselves to themselves. That's what we've always wanted.
Landed
You
with
surely you astronomers are happy with that. That's literally what you've all asked for.
So going back
as long as they bother to learn the language.
Yeah, exactly.
going back to the previous Fermi
None of that
Paradox
Klingon bollocks round here. You're in England, you speak English.
Right. Von Neumann probes is what I was talking about
Yeah.
a minute ago before this insane tangent.
Okay.
So von Neumann probe is you build a probe, it goes to another solar system, does a bit of exploration,
Yeah.
harvests enough material there to make a copy of itself,
Yeah.
and then they move on.
Yeah.
So for the price of building a single probe on your planet,
Yeah.
you can explore the entire galaxy in a couple of million years.
Oh.
So that's the sort of reason we'd expect to maybe encounter an alien probe,
Okay.
because it's a very cheap way to kind of see the entire galaxy.
And also, you can just sort of leave it running, can't you?
Yep, it's self-sustaining.
Again, and that is assuming they are as curious as us, though, isn't it?
Indeed. So this is the point I'm trying to build up to,
Oh.
really gradually. So the
I'll get you there,
third
don't
way of potentially detecting aliens is what's called stellar scale artifacts.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's an idea put forward by a guy named Freeman Dyson,
Yeah.
which is that any civilization
He
will
couldn't name after himself because of the
eventually-
Hoover.
Which itself is a brand name, isn't it? Vacuum,
Yeah.
isn't it? Vacuum cleaner.
Vacuum cleaner, then, sorry.
So Dyson proposed the idea that any civilization will eventually require more energy than can be produced on its planet, and will
Right.
start essentially building solar panels in space,
Outsourcing.
outsourcing to collect more energy from the sun.
Okay.
Because the sun's radiating energy in all directions, but
Yeah.
you're only like over here.
Yeah, you always
Yeah.
grow out your house.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You always fill your house up with shit, and then you need a bigger one, or you need a fucking, you know,
we're very minimalist.
a yard sale or something. Are you? Oh, my house is full of fucking crap.
My wife can't stand that.
Really?
Literally can't stand it.
Can she stand tit?
You've
got two. It's a fat joke.
Getting a fat. You love getting a fat. It's
I
like you're
love
using
it.
all the fat jokes that get used on you.
Yeah, I am. I am.
Like,
I genuinely
hear people.
So Dyson kind of assumed a Freddy-style civilization that would outgrow its resources,
Yeah.
and would eventually need to build a sphere containing its own sun in order to harvest all of the energy the sun can put out.
Jeez, that's a bit.
So now we're going back to the flat Earth dome, then, aren't we?
I mean, we are going back to like stellar scale engineering.
Yeah.
But if you
building
could do
things.
that, if you could build a dome, the size of which and the technology of that could capture all of the sun's energy, surely you could just fucking move to a bigger planet.
So the issue is not the size of the planet; it's
Yeah.
the amount of energy available to you.
Ah, okay. But like a planet with like a bigger sun or something.
I mean, you could.
And we all
But-
got the same. Are we all got the same sun? We'd have to move to a different galaxy, then, wouldn't we?
Yeah, yeah. But if you
Come into a planet with a bigger sun.
yeah, but if you're
I mean,
at
a planet closer to the sun, but then what he's saying is we'll just.
no, but if you're at the
harvest all
point
energy.
where you can like build a fucking dome around the sun, you can just fuck off somewhere else. Where
I mean,
but the problem
it's
is, if we
not-
tried to do that, the length of time it'd take to evacuate the Earth onto that planet, we'd all be dead.
oh yeah.
Yeah, interstellar travel is unfortunately limited by the speed of light and is therefore quite slow.
How are we going to solve that if we want to get anywhere? Because if it's stuff like billions of miles away,
So there's a couple of tricks you can do. So there
teleport.
I mean, if teleporting is possible, that would be a nice one.
Yeah.
There are some theories that might allow faster than light travel, but none that I find particularly convincing. One trick you can do is if you're traveling very, very quickly,
Yeah.
you experience time dilation. So your local experience of time slows down. So if you think about going to
Would you age differently then?
Yeah, you would age more slowly.
But then you'd fucking nip to like fucking Pluto for like some milk or something, and then you come back and your wife would be dead from old age. You'd be fine, but she'd be like, because time would be passing relative for her.
Yeah.
Trying to maintain like an interstellar society by doing that would be very, very difficult.
Yeah.
But if you're doing something like you were speaking about, like migrating your entire civilization, it doesn't matter that you are going to experience less time during your journey than the rest of the universe, because everything you care about will just be with you.
That's such a fucking head fuck though, isn't it?
Yeah, but again, no, we're going to go to a different galaxy. Then I'm sure you can't slow time down that much. Or is the idea of if you can slow it down a little bit, eventually we'll find a way to slow it down to the point where it's possible.
So all depends on your speed. Yeah. So as you approach the speed of light, your personal time slows down, and as you get really, really close to it, it slows down a lot. Yeah. So if you have
you
an
sound
engine
just like a couple of my mates when they go to a rave. It's all about the speed. It's all about your speed, mate. And then you have a faster party or a slow. Oh, mate, it slows the lights down. It's incredible.
Drop a couple of bombs, and then before you know it, time slows down relative.
You come back, your wife's left you.
I've got the milk, and I'm getting my fucking face off. Okay, quick sidetrack. Again, not that we do this all the time. But let's say aliens came to Earth, right? Let's say they came to America, just for the fucking fuck of it, right? They came down to America, and it was discovered. Surely the government would cover it up. Surely.
Why?
Because surely it's in the best interests of everyone to keep it under wraps a bit until we figured out what they want, whether or not they're a danger.
Yeah, that's such a pessimistic view on life.
No, I just think that's like, look.
I think one of the problems people have with aliens as well is that we imagine aliens are going to be like us, in which case they're going to want to take over everything, destroy everything, rape everything, and then just be like, and then move on.
No, but
maybe they're just sound.
Solution to the Fermi Paradox number 4.
Rape everything.
Everyone's being really, really quiet because we're all afraid of the other races that might be out there.
Which is why astronomers are the way they are.
So this is it. So what?
That was very good.
Thank you.
Going back to the racist astronomers jokes.
Yeah. He's good at it.
Sorry, Freddy, you'll catch up eventually.
Oh no. He might not look quick.
I think Freddy's moving at that speed that you're on about before, where everything slows down.
Relative. I'm in my own fucking spaceship right now. So yeah.
So the idea that the reason we don't know about them is because we're all scared of each other.
So that is an idea, a potential explanation.
Well, I thought that about the fucking large fucking Hadron Collider.
Yeah, there's people saying don't do it because we don't know the.
Well, you know when they're fucking like smashing atoms against each other and stuff. Yeah. Part of me is thinking, guys, you could fuck this massively. Do you know what I mean? Like you could do something or mess something up that makes some fucking horrific explosion or something that kills off a third of the Earth. Couldn't they?
There was no real risk of that happening with the Hadron Collider.
Was there no like variable so that was all just media talk?
So
wait, when you say have they stopped doing it?
They only done it once.
They're still going. There continues to be no real
risk. Right. I thought you meant they'd just like given up on it.
I thought it was a one-time thing. They done once and was like, yeah, we've done that now. Move on.
No, they do it all the fucking time. They just sends that atom around for laughs. They just like that.
You know the thing that looks like a water tower at the Daresby Labs?
At what?
I passed it on the way here.
All right, yeah.
Weird looking tower, goes up and there's that's a particle accelerator.
Really?
Yeah.
Fuck.
It's a vertically oriented one.
Can we go in?
Potentially.
And just like fuck about and like, will they let me fire
an atom? So you're like a tourist when they go to Vegas or when they go to one of the Eastern European countries or Thailand, you can fire a bazooka at a cow. Any chance I can fire an atom at me?
That's Cambodia.
I'm afraid it has been decommissioned.
No, it's specifically in Cambodia, they can
bazooka a cow.
Yeah, you can fire a rocket launcher at a cow.
Yeah.
You can chuck grenades at like chickens and
Do you think that might be where the aliens aren't coming over?
I think that's why they've got no food over there.
Yeah,
They keep fucking blowing it up.
Like if I'm an alien and I'm seeing someone go, so they've got a rocket and they just want to just shoot it at a cow. Like, yeah, let's leave it.
Yeah, so my mate lives over there. My mate lives in Vietnam, but he goes over to Cambodia regularly
to get us fix.
Oh well, Cambodia apparently is. Have either of you been to Asia?
No.
So it's let's just how to put this. They have a different attitude to rules over there depending on where or not you go. Mm-hmm. So in Vietnam and Thailand, it's sort of like, just do what you want kind of thing. And that's what my mate is attracted to. He likes the whole sort of do what you want aspect of it. But he says like Cambodia is like the fucking Wild West. Like he used to go to a place on the outskirts of Cambodia in between the border between that and Vietnam called Sanookville, which was like his fucking, Magaluf out there or whatever. But yeah, you can blow up fucking cows and all that sort of shit.
You're not worried about your mate at all?
No, not at all.
I think Gary Glitter had the same sort of liking to that sort of part of the world as well.
Really?
I think that's probably why he found it attractive, because the whole, go on, do
Are you asking me about whether or not I think my friend's a paedophile?
I think there's something wrong with him.
And you are asking me, a fully grown man that lives on the other side of the world, whether or not I'm worried.
Well, you get a sense, don't you?
I mean,
I'm asking you, have you ever had a sense?
Well, we grew up together and he had plenty of chances to bum me. And
yeah, but you were both the same age then. It was like the whole dynamic was wrong.
That's if you're a pedo at 14.
So the Large Hadron Collider was never going to destroy the Earth.
Where's the expert for this?
Fucking hell. Let's see if we can get Ian Watkins on the next one.
So why was there no risk of anything happening?
Right. So there's a thing called a cosmic ray, which is like a high...
Now you just talk. Now this is Despicable Me stuff, this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got this cosmic ray.
They are shit at naming stuff, aren't they?
Yeah.
Even bigger cosmic ray. Enormous cosmic ray.
So these are high energy particles that have just been like floating through space.
Yeah.
And they like rain down on the Earth and just hit something.
Yeah.
And you can actually spot them pretty easily, because if you ever take a photograph and like turn the gain all the way up, there'll be some weird like bright spots.
Oh yeah, and people think that that's ghosts and shit and orbs.
Oh, so what is it? Just particles?
It's a high energy particle from space hitting the CCD.
Also,
camera.
I
So we
always
could
thought
tell people they're aliens.
yeah,
then,
I always
really.
thought that was Nan trying to get in touch with me. Okay, cool.
It'll just like it'll light up a single pixel.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
They go, it's an orb like that, and Delcacoro comes round and.
So again, you didn't explain to me why there's no.
So the cosmic rays, like they're coming in all the time. They're hitting the upper atmosphere.
Yeah.
The collisions happening there
Yeah.
are of the same energy as the stuff that's happening in the LHC.
Right.
So it's something that's already happening naturally. We're just recreating it under laboratory conditions so we can study it.
But will we eventually turn that up and up and up so we can?
Yeah, eventually.
And we'll so surely at some point will there be a risk involved at some point or the thing? And do you reckon, or?
I wouldn't expect so.
So I always thought that what they were actually doing was they were
Recreating the Big Bang is what the common belief is, isn't it?
yeah, or I thought that they were firing like atoms round because it's a big fuck off donut, innit?
It is, yes.
Like I thought they were firing one round one way and one round the other way, and then waiting for them to hit each other.
You're both entirely right, yeah. So that's how the particle accelerator works, is we want to create a high energy collision. And it's the same energy as a particle coming in from space and hitting a stationary particle. You just distribute the energy between two particles.
Yeah.
Because that way you don't have to speed them up as much. And the idea behind it is to get back to the characteristic energies that particles had just after the Big Bang.
Right.
So that we can look at what happens in those interactions.
Is there a chance that aliens are watching us do all this, and it is the cosmological equivalent of watching a fucking caveman bang two fucking stones together to try and make fire?
Yeah.
And in the same way that if we were looking at a planet with a caveman just like that, you'd be like, just give him a bit to figure it out, and we'll come back later on.
No, what you'd be doing would be selling tickets to look at the caveman try and make fire.
Oh yeah, on our planet,
Yeah.
you wouldn't go over and speak to them, would you? Because you'd be like, they're just a bit.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Do you think maybe that's what aliens do? Do you think we're an attraction somewhere?
Well,
on another planet. Come and view these mad bastards.
Well, if there are any aliens watching this, then please make sure that you sign up to our Patreon.
Subscribe, like, and comment for the algorithm. Imagine there's aliens looking down going, they've got someone there with actual intelligence and them two fat cunts just keep making jokes.
Oh, they'd be furious, wouldn't they?
Like, why aren't they listening to him?
He's divulging the secrets of the universe, and they're talking about paedophilia. This is just... We don't need to visit this planet.
Solution to the Fermi Paradox number, whatever we're up to.
Yeah.
4 we won. So we won
5 now.
I think we're 5. I can't remember. Anyway, not
I thought there's only 4.
There's 2 lists I've got running at the same time. One of them is the number of ways we can find aliens, and the other is potential solutions to the Fermi Paradox.
Yeah, he's actually
Right.
he's actually running 2 lists in his head at the same time,
Fucking hell.
whilst we're talking about fucking bullshit.
Right, so number 5.
Yep. Is that the Earth is essentially a nature reserve?
I have nailed every single one of these solutions.
Right,
And like,
yeah.
wait, how many degrees have you got?
2 or 3, depending on whether you count the undergraduate.
Well, let's say we count it.
Running.
I know everything you know. I've already named before you said it, and I haven't got a single. I've got 3 first years.
Really are Will Hunting.
Yeah, exactly. This is what I'm trying to say. It's the natural. I figured out everything. It took him 10 years to learn in a 5. Well, how long we've been talking? 35 minutes. I don't know. I'm trying to look at this.
No, hour and
What?
20.
Oh, an hour and 20 then.
Yeah, don't get angry.
I'm not getting angry. I'm just further proof that I am a fucking genius.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So why don't you start asking me questions? Go on.
Okay.
What do you want to know about space?
So, what do I want to know about space? How big is space, Rob Thomas?
It's infinite, mate.
Infinite.
Yeah.
And what are you basing that on?
I'm basing that on the fact that there's no understanding that we have that there would be an ending.
Okay, talk to me.
Based on the things that based on the things that we know, we couldn't comprehend an end of space.
Okay, talk to me, Rob.
Imagine you
about
you
who is Joyce Bell Burnell, and
Yeah.
what did
Jocelyn.
Jocelyn piss Jocelyn Bell Burnell.
I'll tell you about
and what-
Joyce first.
what did
I was a
she-
younger sister. And unfortunately spent the days living in her older sister's shadow. She never went on to achieve anything. If anything, she went bitter.
What about
petty.
Jocelyn Bell Burnell? What'd she do?
Oh, well, I'm more interested in Joyce. It's the human element. Of it. I quite like the story. As we've discussed, I quite like the
All
story.
right, Joyce,
more
what did she do? Go for it. Do Joyce.
She ended up killing herself. That was the problem. That was
She
a
ended
sad
up
bit.
killing
Yeah.
herself.
That was a sad ending. Like,
Was it?
yeah, you had to push it, didn't you, Freddy? You know what I mean? I led you. I showed you the way, but you had to push it. Doing it.
Oh,
So number
fucking
5, with a nature reserve.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the world is basically a giant Knowsley Safari Park.
Yeah.
And the
But
aliens.
surely at that point, if we take number 5 to be the correct one, then flat earthers might have a point because we'd need barriers to keep us in.
So,
Like, there's a reason there's walls around Knowsley Safari Park.
I mean, there is kind of a wall around us in that there is the immense empty vacuum of space.
Right, so you're saying to keep us in, they built a moat.
Built or just taken advantage of.
Yeah.
So the idea could be, and this is entirely hypothetical,
Yeah.
but you could have a galactic community who will avoid contacting any race that cannot get beyond its own solar system.
Oh, okay, because it's just like they're fucking idiots.
That's like me when I play football with someone. It's like, if he can't control the ball, I'm not playing with him. Like, if he can't take a touch, if he can't pass it without taking a touch, I'm not playing with him.
If I don't see him receive that pass and look up instantly,
I'm not playing.
I'm not playing with him. So they consider us to be so primitive that we're not even worth getting in touch with.
Or don't want to impinge on our kind of personal development.
But sometimes,
It's like me with my kid. Oh no, he's got to learn to walk. He's just let him with his walker. Don't get away from him. Let him fall. He's got to understand it hurts.
yeah, neglect, basically. So, but sometimes is it not the case that if you are a more enlightened, more advanced life form, is there not a certain pleasure in speaking to less developed life forms and helping them to figure things out?
It's like you've never got on a bus.
That's why he's here. Speaking to less developed life forms to like you've never got on a bus.
Sorry, I was trying really hard not to be the one to make that joke.
Yeah,
It felt really mean.
well, that was literally exactly what I was saying.
I've literally been nothing but mean to you for an hour and a half. You could take the open goal. Can I guess number 6, or can I make up number 6?
Yes, do it.
Go for
Number
it.
6.
We're so primitive that there's nothing to gain from bothering with us. Like we're so minuscule and like there's so many other galaxies for aliens and other life forms to explore that why would you bother with us? Like
it's like stopping off at stopping off at Lockerbie on the way to Glasgow.
Yeah.
It's like there's nothing here.
Yeah, what's the point? Like
there's nothing fucking here.
We're so minuscule and primitive that there's no point in aliens.
Yeah.
Like they could just go 2 galaxies down. And there's like there's fucking.
Do you want to stop off and check out the bombings in Andy Murray's house? No, I fucking don't.
Exactly.
I'll just go straight to Glasgow, please. Thanks very much.
Blue plaque on us that no one's ever read.
So continuing our trend of you counting out all of the Fermi Paradox potential solutions, the idea that we're just kind of in a galactic backwater.
Fuck off, as if he's right again. What the fuck? All right, okay, I want to do one now.
Go for it.
Fucking not letting you fucking
It's alright, I've only done 6.
monopolise all these, you prick. New one. We're so advanced and warlike that other more peaceful entities look at us and go, "Whoa, I'm not messing with them."
So
we're the guy in the Weatherspoons in a tap-out T-shirt. And all the other planets are going, "Whoa, nah, mate."
this is a really interesting one because this brings us to an idea in the Fermi Paradox called the Great Filter.
Okay.
So one solution to the Fermi Paradox is just there aren't other people there to talk to. And the reason for that must be that one step or one or more step along the way to being an interstellar civilization kills off the people who try and get there.
Oh.
So it's either like life is really, really rare to start with, or life developing into complex life is really rare, or complex life developing intelligence is really rare, or intelligent life developing communication is really rare, or intelligent communicating life developing like interstellar space travel is really rare.
Yeah.
And the scary bit of the Great Filter hypothesis is that if we're past it, if we've already gotten over whatever that limiting factor is, then we're golden. But if it's yet to come, it could be something that would wipe out our civilization. And it could be something like any sufficiently advanced civilization eventually destroys itself in nuclear war, just statistically speaking.
Yeah.
Or
why wouldn't you?
Eventually there's a plague that wipes you all out. Or there's some kind of galactic super predator floating around that if you call down its attention, it will just end you.
Fuck.
Thanos.
Like a Thanos, yes.
Fuck. So we could be on a intergalactic watch list.
Hypothetically.
And at the moment we're just talking to kids.
At the
but
moment,
if we meet one.
At the moment we're in caves. We're in caves making VHSs. And it's like at some point, if these cunts take Afghanistan back, we're gonna have to, have to pay attention to these.
Yeah, we're just sort of and we are being watched, and the gun's pointed at us, but we don't even know it. Shit.
Why does that scare you?
What do you mean? Why does it scare me that we're being watched and all life could end immediately should we advance too far? Why does that scare me?
Yeah.
Because then everything will end.
That doesn't bother me. I had a good run.
You had a good run. You fucking didn't. You wouldn't be that far. Yes!
Circle of life, innit? That's just...
Before we go, because we are going to wrap up on this, then we're going to have a break and record Pigoted Extra if you want to listen to it. Patreon.com/Pigoted. You can join for just £4 a month, £1 a week. And for that, you get access to a shit load of extra content, like hours a week worth of extra content, plus Discord servers and merchandise. And all sorts of fucking great stuff. And you get to support the podcast as well. Before we go, is there anything that you would like to plug, Ben?
I would strongly recommend the book The Three-Body Problem, which deals with a lot of the ideas behind the Fermi Paradox in a fictionalized narrative.
Oh, I love that. The Three-Body Problem. Is it on Audible?
I think it is, yeah.
Oh,
Who wrote that?
I cannot pronounce her name because I don't speak Chinese.
Wow.
Again, astronomers.
Wowee.
Astronomers at it again.
Yeah. It's another...
You're going to plug someone's book and you couldn't be asked to Google.
It turns out it was actually a Japanese man, and I
Yeah.
really badly here.
All I know is she's from a different exoplanet, and that's all I need to make my judgment.
I can't speak hieroglyphics, Okay, now.
Well, it's written by letters in a house. That's who wrote my thing.
And her name's Noughts and Crosses.
Right, well, this is all being fucking edited out. Holy shit. Do you know how many listeners we have in Japan?
2.
Yeah.
Yeah,
About.
Yeah. Great. Am I allowed to plug something now?
Yes, you're allowed to plug something.
Right, if you want to right into it, cheers for pointing out the camera that I can see myself on. I was just looking at all 3. I wanted to swipe the room. Far From Lombardi, if you're into the NFL. So if you're into the NFL and you're into toxic masculinity and gambling, Far From Lombardi is for you. I have a new podcast comes out a week today. I'm not sure when does this come out?
Well, this will come out probably in a few weeks. So.
Right, so it'll be out by now. It's called Another One Podcast. It's me and another comedian, Simon Wozniak, where we just chat shite. It's similar to this, except we don't have experts, so we can just continue to chat shite.
And just imagine how badly they go off without you being there to just roll them back in. Holy shit! Yeah. Do you have guests on that one?
Yeah. You coming on?
So, thank you very much for listening. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye. This episode of Pigoted is sponsored by Taylor's Toys. Taylor's Toys are a sex toy company. They specialise in doing high-quality sex toys that won't fall apart after 1 or 2 uses. Head over to taylorstoys.co.uk, check out the amazing range that they've got on offer, and if you use the discount code PIGOTED at checkout, you get yourself 10% off on all products. Taylor's Toys. Spice things up in the bedroom. Thank me later.